Dr. Oz, or before we get to Dr. Oz, we continue to follow breaking news in Manchester. 3 people are dead after an employee goes on a shooting rampage at Hartford Distributors.
We're learning 3 people were taken to Hartford Hospital, where a press conference is expected to get underway any moment. And that's where we find Fox Connecticut's Rachel Frank live. Let's send it out to her. Rachel, what are you learning?
Okay, well, I'll take it from here. This is Tom Lewis out at the scene here near the Hartford Distributorship. And we've been talking more and more about the details of just how many people may have been killed in this shooting. It's a number that's been bandied about. Now, the state police and local police had a press conference about a half an hour ago. They did not shed a whole lot of light on the numbers that we're talking about, only to say that there were some fatalities. They did not even confirm that Omar Thomas, the alleged shooter, himself is dead. But Lieutenant Vance did say something very telling, in the fact that this is a secure situation, meaning they're not looking for anyone else. That you can draw some clues from. This is what we've been learning all morning long from our sources, that this was either a current employee or an ex-employee, possibly someone that was facing some trouble at work, that came in around 10:30 this morning. 35 to 40 people inside. At that time, he did bring a gun out. We're not sure what type of gun, what size, what caliber of gun, but the shots were fired. 7 people were shot. That's the initial report that we got, that there were 7 shooting victims. The number that we continue to hear as far as fatalities go, a total of 3, and that does include the shooter. Now, I know we're going to get some updates from Hartford Hospital. That's where the other shooting victims went to. We heard that there were 3 surviving shooting victims, that they range in condition from good to serious condition. To recap the storyline here, what has been a very tragic morning here in Manchester, around 10:30, there were calls that shots were fired. We're located right on the Tolland Turnpike at this very large, very successful beer distributorship that was just getting started for their early morning work when all this began to unwind. We also uncovered the fact that there was a small fire. We did see some smoke coming out of one of the buildings. The SWAT team was out. That's the tactical units. They came out. We're not sure, again, because of the details being a little sketchy on the part of the authorities, understandably so. We don't know exactly the nature or circumstances regarding that fire. So there are a lot of loose ends to tie up. We have been promised, however, that Lieutenant Vance, the rest of the authorities in charge of this investigation, are going to come out here and try to clarify some of these things. But we're continuing to feed our viewers what we're hearing as far as numbers go. We have talked to some ex-employees, or actually some current employees, who talked about some of the things going on inside, some of the loved ones going on inside. There was a lot of hugging, a lot of tears, a lot of confusion, which we were able to see firsthand when we arrived on the scene. Obviously, an hour into this, people were not sure exactly what was going on, whether or not the shooter was on the loose, whether or not their co-workers were alive, or if they were dead inside that warehouse. But right now, it's something that we're going to have to keep tabs on from the staging area. We'll get back to everybody. All the viewers will get an update probably within a half hour from State Police on exactly what the latest on this very terrible day is. Got back to you guys, sir.
Just got off the phone with a union representative, John Hollis. He said that this gentleman was a new hire, that he was going in for a disciplinary problem. Wasn't sure if that disciplinary hearing took place either before or after the shots rang out. We had been hearing that possibly Steve, or Stephen Hollander, one of the owners, might have been shot. We asked the union rep that, and he said he had heard that, but he hadn't gotten any confirmation. Are you hearing whether a Steve Hollander might have been shot at the plant?
Looks like we lost Tom.
Okay.
Well, let's do a recap again of what we do know so far. Shots were fired at Hartford Distributors. They distribute a number of beers. Just after 7 o'clock this morning, that's on Chapel Road, police responded to find multiple shots. State police confirmed that the shooter was Omar Thomas. As Logan was just saying, we're learning he wasn't a new hire, a new employee. He was going in for possibly a disciplinary hearing, and that's when these shots started happening. He started shooting, possibly shooting one of the owners. We're learning he might have been a driver for Hartford Distributors. Troopers say Thomas shot himself after being approached by police. We're learning from a few other sources that he possibly did shoot himself, so we're still trying to get confirmation on that. 3 victims have been taken to Hartford Hospital, 1 in fair condition, 1 in critical condition, and 1 is unknown. We do know 3 people are dead. That's according to firefighters. That does include the shooter. We also learned, not confirmed, but from some of our other sources, that possibly 7 people have been shot.
Okay, we want to rejoin Dr. Dr. Oz right now. We're going to have another news break for you coming up at the bottom of the hour, about 10:30. We're trying to get some more information. Hartford Hospital is going to be conducting a news conference any moment now, and we will, of course, have that when that happens. We'll, of course, have the news at 11 this morning. We'll try to wrap it all up for you and give you the latest that we have. For now, Dr. Oz, and we'll see you in just a little while.